What's up, everybody? This is Forgo, and the first thing I want to say is I want to thank you to all of you that put a comment on that post that I put up yesterday, letting you all know that I wasn't going to be able to upload any videos. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for understanding, everybody. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to try to provide you a guide for Knull and some world boss teams that you can use for him. Now today Knull actually was my world boss of the day, which was pretty damn awesome, and I would never re-roll these world bosses because you'll spend millions of gold. It just isn't worth it. And if he is the world boss of the day and you can actually play him, you will probably get more CCF. I definitely know that I did. So unfortunately for some of you out there, you can't play Knull, which is a bunch of crap, right? Because your characters aren't strong enough, or your guild raid isn't, or your valor just isn't good enough. My valor is completely fine. I got 4,070, so it's going to enable me to do a lot more damage and take a lot less damage from Knull, so I can get away with some things. And a lot of other players that's been playing this game, especially for a good 2 years, even less, maybe even a year, you shouldn't have any problems clearing Knull because your valor is going to be high enough. If your valor is, I'd say, around, in the 300, 400, 500 range, you'll probably be able to clear this. Let me know in the comments if you are having problems. But the teams that I'm using is this team right here, Shirog, Star-Lord, and Doctor Strange. You can only use tier 3 and transcended characters. And here you see all the available ones that I have right here that I can actually use. Unfortunately, quite a few of these are, well, trash in this game mode. They're not very good, unfortunately. The second team I use is Moon Knight, Beta Ray, and I use Cyclops Leadership for the 35% increase of all attack, which is going to buff both these characters, but he's also got the 30% increase from his passive that's going to increase Beta Ray Bill's energy attack, which is great. The third team here is Silver Surfer in the leadership, and Silver Surfer is amazing because he has the debuff removal, which is amazing for Knull. Actually, having debuff removal is very, very sweet. So Sentry and Molecule Man are actually going to be really good for this. Plus, Silver Surfer gives the increased all attack by 20% whenever you are debuffed, which is awesome. And then we got Mystique. Mystique's going to offer the extra support, the 40% damage to super villains from her passive, and she's also going to be getting debuff, having the debuff removal from Silver Surfer. And Ghost Rider, the same thing. They're just amazing characters. And these are the teams that I chose to use. I just found that having Mystique on this team here especially really helped these guys. Ghost Rider's strong as hell, but having this support was really, really helpful for him. The second team is Medusa. I got Medusa in leadership because she does get 45% increase of all attack. You could put Ghost Rider here instead, or even Odin if you're using him. I'm not using Odin because I don't have a obelisk on him. And I use Black Bolt because Black Bolt will benefit from this leadership, and he's also going to get the support from Medusa, which is really great. Black Bolt's actually very freaking strong here. He's a monster. Whenever I show you guys that gameplay, you'll see he can melt bars. He's pretty crazy. And actually, Captain Marvel can actually put in work. She's got a lot of damage, especially if you got CTP of Rage. Most people are going to have a Rage on her. She's been in the game for a long time. She was ABX meta for a long time. So people are probably still going to have her well built. She can actually put in work, but you have to be careful. She'd actually be really good with a debuff also, to be perfectly honest. And then for my last team, and this is the most difficult team of all for me to do a clear with. And it is hard. I'm not even going to front to anybody. Thanos, he does have the 36% increase of all attack to villain allies, which is why I have 2 villains on the team. I tried using Namor, but Namor, because he has no immunity and no invincibility on his skills, he does have invincibility on his tier 3. Man, he just gets caught in tornadoes left and right. So actually having a debuff for him would really be nice. I found him very annoying to play. And truth be told, guys, I actually can do better with Dr. Octopus than Namor against Knull. Because Dr. Octopus, all I got to do, because he's awakened, is hit his awakened skill. And I just do tons of damage. And I rotate through the characters. And the way that I play, it seems to just like I just do so much better. Whenever I use Namor on this team, I never can beat Knull, but when I ever use Dr. Octopus, I can with these guys. And Carnage, of course, he's going to get buffed up by Thanos. Carnage is absolutely amazing for this. And Carnage, all I have on him is that I have a CTP of energy and normal ranked uniform. I mean, he's not beefed up by any means. I mean, a little bit, but not too much. And Dr. Octopus does have a rage. So these are the teams that I use. As far as strikers, and you see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As far as strikers, these are the strikers I use for Team 1. Mainly, I just use strikers that offer damage to supervillains or physical attack. So right here, I got Azoriman, who offers physical attack. That's going to buff up all three of my characters. Carnage, Dr. Octopus, and Thanos, all are physical attack characters. And then, of course, damage out to super villains. And the same goes for all these characters. Damage out to super villains, damage out to super villains, damage dealt to super villains, and then a little physical attack, and then damage dealt to super villains. That's pretty much all the strikers I use. Notice I didn't use any healing strikers at all because I just don't need to. But if you're having problems keeping a character alive, maybe use Groot in the Baby Groot uniform, maybe use Venom. And the thing about Venom that sucks is if you use him as a tier 3 character, if you use him as your damage dealer, who's actually amazing against Knull, unfortunately I don't have him at tier 3, he's going to do really, really well. He can do freaking awesome against Knull, but I don't have him at tier 3, so I'm kind of screwed. So if you're using him as a striker and you only have him at tier 2, you can use him. Again, you can use Groot. What we're going to do is we're just going to use this team right here, and I'm going to kind of run through the Knull and kind of show you some tips and things that I do to try to get through this. Okay, there we go. That'll be fine. Hopefully this thing doesn't crash, because it does quite a bit actually. Ever since this update, this game crashes left and right on my emulator. Now we're probably not going to get the clear, but and I will do a run later in another video where I do show you a clear with this team. But what you want to do is essentially just take your characters, run up, and start plowing through their skills. Now, if you have a certain character that's your main damage dealer, you want to kind of keep them in for the most part throughout the entire fight. And by the way, you notice that Thanos can actually put in work. And I just build up their tier 3 and I start using that tier 3. Now in the debuff here, make sure I got my debuff on. Dr. Octopus getting debuffed. And we were still able to do some damage. We're going to switch to Carnage now. Alright. And you got to take Knull down to bar 32 before he goes into his next phase. Alright, here we go. And that's really all we're trying to do. I pretty much just face tank with most of my characters. And we'll switch to Dr. Octopus. There we go, there we go. And look at the damage this guy does. It's not bad. Even if you have a CTP of energy on Dr. Octopus, I bet he'll still put in some work for you. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, so we're going to switch to Dr. Octopus. And we're going to wait for his awakened skill. Now, during this phase here, if you're using an awakened character, go ahead and use them like so. Start bringing in that damage. And then switch right after you use that awakened skill. Now Knull's gonna hit his sword to the ground. He's gonna bring out these little things. And you want to use your fastest character. Whichever character has the best movement speed, you want to switch to them whenever he does that. And then start plowing it on. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to Carnage. And Carnage really does put out some insane damage for this. Now we want to switch to Thanos. He's the fastest on his feet. So you want to use him. There we go. We'll try to do as much damage as we can here. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Okay, now he's going to hit the ground, and he's going to bring out those little things that's going to chase us. So again, you have your fastest character, and you run away from them. Usually if you make a big circle, you can get away from those things. Now we're going to go ahead and do a couple little attacks. Now if you're using a character that isn't very tanky, don't do this. Get away from that. Now he's going to do his little purple attack again. Get in the center of this circle. And pour it on. And you want to try to get to the 11th bar here. Come on, where's that proc? Where's that proc? Where's that proc? Okay, once you get to the 11th bar, run behind this guy. Wish your fastest character. And whenever that purple shows up, run away. You want to get behind Knull whenever he does this. Now watch. He can't get to us. And watch the tornadoes. Don't get caught in those damn things. All right, we're going to run over here. And now we're just going to pour it on a little bit. Get away, get away, get away, get away, get away. He'll do that again. You only have time to do one attack. He'll do that purple attack. There we go. All right. Switch. And come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Now we're going to switch to Thanos. Thanos is so tanky that he can do this pretty well. You always want to hit your one skill first, get your invincibility, and then start pouring it on. Now, I don't think we're going to do this. We're probably not going to do this. And look at that. So we almost did. I almost came in here and just did this all in one try, the first try. Pretty insane. But now you saw that this team can definitely do this. But I just wanted to show you guys how you want to approach it. You know, whenever Knull is in the final phase, I mean, he can kill you easily. You know, you just have to make sure that when you're playing this, that you're being aggressive, but you're switching your characters when you need to. Whenever he brings up the purple, switch your character, and those things will disappear. In the final phase, like we were just doing here, see how I used Thanos? I was using Thanos before Thor even come in, and I could do damage. If you don't have invincibility, you won't be able to do that. He'll just knock you back, and he'll just do tons of damage to you. Thanos is one of those characters that you can actually get away with that quite a bit. Ghost Rider's another one that you can get away with it. But we almost got the damn clear in one try, which is pretty awesome. But I will be doing another video about all the runs and actual gameplay that I did. Maybe I won't just do the one that I just did because you guys just saw it. But hopefully this will help some of you out there as far as facing Knull. If you're having problems facing Knull, then more than likely your Valor just isn't high enough. You know, you just need to make sure that your Valor is high enough. And if it isn't, you're just going to have to keep playing the other world bosses to try to increase your Valor, so that way it's going to enable you to do more damage and take less damage from Knull. And I'll get into why I didn't use, you know, I'm not using certain characters like Magneto. I've already talked about Namor, Apocalypse. There's certain characters I'm not using, really just because either their damage isn't good enough, or I find them just extremely annoying to play, or I don't have them built well enough to really do this. Unfortunately, in this game mode, you definitely want, for a lot of characters, they're going to need rages. For some characters, you can get away with CTBs of energy and even an obelisk, but that's a rare situation where you can use obelisk on certain characters. So hopefully, you know, Netmarble will increase the rewards in these other bosses, so that way all the players can get guaranteed CCF like they can in Knull. You know, if they just made it 5 CCF per world boss over here or over in here, it would be fine. As long as they're guaranteeing CCF every day, really guaranteeing everything, Essence of Dimension and Titan component packs, that would make things a lot better. So again, I will be doing a video showing the other world boss teams in action. And if you want to see a certain world boss team trying to get it done, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make that happen for you. So hopefully this will help some of you out there as far as facing Knull. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.